All right, now we're going to look at how to draw a sphere. So you have a couple of options here. If you need a stencil, you can use one. You can either use a compass, you could use a roll of tape, you could use the bottom edge of a can. For this, I will use the roll of tape. But you're going to be creating 5 different spheres. So for some of them, you may just want to go by hand so that you can keep them nice and small. You could also try using the bottom of a glue stick. So you're going to be creating 5 spheres here. You can pre-draw them if you'd like and then shade them later. Doesn't really matter what size they are. So I've got 4 drawn here. Let's start with the biggest one. First thing we determine is our light source. If our light is coming from here, then we're going to have a highlight. I like to draw the highlight ahead of time just so I know where it's going to be really lightly, and I know not to color inside or not to shade inside of that spot. Now, if that's where my light source is coming from, this is going to be the darkest side of my sphere. Now you'll notice I'm still using the side edge of my pencil and I'm shading in a circular motion. I'm following the edge of the sphere. I'm not going up and down. I'm not going side to side. I'm following the edge of the sphere and I'm using small pencil strokes. I'm not going really big. Small pencil strokes will allow me to keep it nice and neat. Now you can see I'm sort of creating that half moon shape here because the light is going to be following the edge of the sphere. Now I can always go back in here and just keep applying more pressure, or also just continue going over the section again and again, and that will automatically make it a little bit darker. Once I'm happy with my shadow area, which again is going to be the darkest area of my sphere, I can then start easing up on my pressure in order to create some midtones. Now there's going to be several midtones. The area we're going to call midtone is actually going to include multiple values, like a gradient, because we're going to be smoothly going from our shadow into our midtones and then into our highlights. So I'm lightening up on my pressure here. I'm still following the edge of that sphere. You can see I'm curving around as I go. I'm not going up and down. I'm not going side to side. Because the sphere is circular, we have to follow the edge of the sphere in order to make it look 3D when we're shading. So I'm moving into my midtones still, and I'm about to get to my highlights here. And I just want to make sure that I leave open that spot that I left for my reflection. The reflection is where the light sort of hits the sphere and kind of bounces back, and so we see like a light white spot. So we're going to leave that spot empty. Okay, I'm still following the edge of the sphere. I'm still shading in small increments, and here I am. I'm up at the top now. I'm going to go around this area here still with some highlight, and then I'm going to leave this area empty where my reflection is going to be. If I'd like to after, I can take my finger and I can do some blending, but I'm still missing one important part, which is my cast shadow. Light's coming from here. The cast shadow is going to be down on this side of my sphere. I'm going to start close to my sphere, but I'm going to start very dark because the closer I am to the sphere, the darker the shadow is. And as I pull further away, my cast shadow, is then going to lighten up. As we're further away, the shadow is not as bold, not as dark. There's my first sphere. All right, you're going to create 4 more spheres after that, different sizes, and also with a light source coming from a different angle. I'm going to put this video on time-lapse now so you can see how I do it.